CQ 40 meters, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters, CQ, CQ. CQ 40, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters, CQ, CQ. CQ 40 meters, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters, CQ, CQ. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, CQ. CQ 40, CQ 40 meters, CQ, CQ. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ. Any station, anywhere.
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec, Lima, Lima.
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec, Lima, Lima. Dave, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, my gosh, it has been a great day, and it looks like it's going to be a good night. Looks like the weather might hold, and maybe the band will as well there. Go ahead.
QSL, the band is really nice. I got a really soft noise floor here, about 1.5 on my noise floor, and heard you in there, and I was like, glad somebody came through there. Over.
Well, I am too. It wasn't but about 15 minutes ago we were still finishing up on some yard work, and we kind of noticed the time. We try to start about 7 o'clock. We do a live stream on YouTube as well during the week. This is what we kind of call 40-meter Fridays, even though we've been down here now for 3 weeks. And so we just got ourselves put back together and got all the equipment fired up, and wanted to make sure we found ourselves an open frequency, and that you're the first call of the evening, so I think it's going to be good. Looks like you're kind of west, east and north of Mansfield and Findlay. Is that a Roger?
QSL, yes, you got me dialed in. Over.
Well, if I can type the call in correctly, the logger usually does a pretty good job as long as the internet helps out. We have had nothing but trouble the last 48 hours between power outages and internet interruptions. One of the curses of living in the country, I guess. And everything was cruising along real good last night, and a couple of little hiccups with the internet, and all of a sudden we went from, hey, how you doing, QSO, to absolutely nothing, lost all of our power, nothing. And I had a feeling everybody was like, well, what happened? And, you can't tell anybody because you got no power. So we're hoping tonight will be a better story there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hope so. I got this portable rig I'm ready to get going here. I got a long wire hooked up to the 9-to-1 balun. I'm trying to get that out portable, but the weather hasn't been agreeing with me. Over.
I feel that way as well. So don't feel too terrible about it. We haven't had the nicest weather, so to speak. It was actually okay today, but boy, the rumblers and the high winds and some of the rain mixed in doesn't make it a whole lot of exciting. We're trying to finish up some logistics to get a portable live stream here in a couple of weeks, and we're trying to get antennas dialed in the best we can, make sure that we've got all the connectors and cables we need, and probably do maybe a dry run in a couple of days just to make sure all the equipment will work. And yeah, portable is a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work as well there, Roger.
It is a lot of fun, though, and I'd like to see how much, I can do with the effective radiated power there. Over.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Matter of fact, last night, about every either the top of the hour or at the bottom of the hour, I'd like to take a few minutes and just call for any QRP portables or mobiles. And I had 2 QRPs back-to-back last night that were 5.7, 5.9 on 10 watts. One was up in northern Michigan, the other one in Pennsylvania. And, and the antenna is doing its job. Of course, propagation helps, but it's really amazing if conditions are right what you can do on 10 watts. Or go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is it's all about resonance and getting that antenna resonant, and that is the most important part of the deal, because you can have a tuner, but it doesn't do any good. You still have the SWR on the other end. Over.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm still a fan of trying to dial them in the most you can. Our portable ops antennas, we use an MP1, which is basically a manual screwdriver, and we put it about 4 foot off the ground, so the total length would be maybe 10 foot. But the biggest key we found to make it work real well is we cut ground radials specific for each band. And that really seemed to make a difference with the antenna. And we've had quite a success. It breaks down to about a foot, and it comes in a little carry bag. I actually made a video, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, about how to set it up and the performance I got with the ground radials and so forth. And we had some really good results, made some really nice contacts with it. And then, of course, we use a 40-meter dipole that we've got a breakdown pole that'll get us up to about 24 foot. So we could set up the MP for 20 meters and use a 40-meter dipole for 40, and we could switch back and forth. So we're hoping that's going to work here in a couple of weeks, so we're keeping our fingers crossed there, Roger.
Yeah, QSL, that's about the same setup I have here. I went to Lowe's and got that 24-foot buddy pole there they have for the painter's pole, and it's a really nice pole. It rolls up, and I got my speaker light on that, and it did go long on me there a little bit. I had to get up there and shorten everything, but now it seems to be doing a job. Over.
Yeah, I've got a 16-foot painter pole, and then I've got an 8-foot extension that's like chain link top pipe that you have on a chain link fence, and I cut it to 8 foot so it'll fit crossways in the bed of my pickup. So that puts me just about 24 foot, and we got that put together this afternoon. And it's in we have 2 locations here in at the QTH. This is what we call Studio A, which is upstairs, and then down in our basement we have Studio B, which is the leftover secondary equipment, and that's where we have our portable stuff. So we are actually able to use it. And it's really amazing how much better you receive and transmit just by adding an extra 8 foot to the elevation. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I know. That's my goal, is to get this antenna up higher. I'm only about a quarter wavelength here, and it needs to go up a little better.
Yeah, but the thing is, you do what you can with what you got, and if you do it right, you're going to have a big old pileup, and you're not going to know what to do with it. And I'm not a real good pileup guy. I try to work them here the best I can. I think everybody has heard me say that before, but. Altitude is definitely our friend, but, I've seen some verticals, that set about 12 or 14 inches off the ground, and, of course, the radials make all the difference, and they do a great job as well.
Yeah, you see all the plots and everything on the software there, but, you get it up in the air, and you do what you can do with what you have, and I found that, I run an inverted V here, so my apex is as high as it's going to be, so, my legs are going to be, I can't quite get them, it's an obtuse angle, but it's not quite at a 45, but it's a little bit over, so it is what it is, but it's working. Over.
It is working. You're solid 5 and 7 in the receive here, and I don't run any preamp on this rig. We're running the new Yaesu FTDX10 that we've had now for about 2 months, I think, give or take, in a 40-meter dipole on side of my tower, up about 38 foot, and it's a kind of an unconventional configuration, but it's working. We are running a little bit of power tonight. It kind of helps to get out there so people know we're calling CQ and so forth, but all in all, no complaints. We're going to try to get up a little higher if we get a little bit more stable weather, sunshine, not 50-mile-an-hour winds like we've had, and we can tilt the tower over and try to get it up a little bit. But in the meantime, we'll use it the way it is, and we've got the other dipole that we're experimenting with right now, and I think it's going to work out well for us. At least if we were able to make some decent contacts this afternoon. So we hope it'll continue to work that way there. Go ahead.
Yeah, you are a solid S9, and your signal is very clear. Modulation is perfect. I couldn't ask for anything better to listen to. Over.
Well, we had a lot of help. I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. We did pair the radio with the Heil PR781. We're running this little EQ tonight. We usually don't do that, but we want to see how it's going to sound on the playback. And so we're running just a little bit of EQ, and we've got some internal settings from a friend of mine in Knoxville off of his Yaesu 101D. And so he loaned me his settings. They seem to work pretty well, and we're not going to touch it. I think when I listen to the playbacks on my channel, this is exactly what I sound like in person. Other times it sounds a little off, and too much processing or compression really alters your voice. And this really didn't. I mean, in my headphones, it does not sound good at all. But on the playback, it sounds like me. So that's what we're looking for. So for me, having said that, David, we are doing the live stream. So if you're interested in listening to our QSO to see how you sound on the air, you can go to my channel one of two ways. You can go to my QRZ page. We've got a link. You can click on that. It'll take you to the current video, or you can go to YouTube and put in my call and look at today's video as well, and you could kind of see how you sound on the air there, Roger.
QSL, and what was your call again?
Yeah, the call is Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo.
Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo.
Red, white, and blue.
There's nothing better.
I kind of thought so. It's also my initials, so I got lucky twice.
Yes, you did.
Well, I looked at my log. I didn't see a contact, so thank you very much for the first one. Like I said, we try to do this during the week, and this is our third week on 40 meters. We try to start about 7 o'clock. The last couple of nights we were a little early. This time we're about 15 minutes behind, and we run this for a few hours or until there's nobody else to talk to. The band dies, or a combination of all those. So by all means, if you hear us again, give us a call, and we'll just kind of pick it up where we left off. And again, we don't do 5.9 QRZ. That's not what I'm into. And we're not able to do 20 and 30-minute QSOs, of course. We try to be very respectful of everybody's time. People are standing by wanting to check in, and I think that's great. So we try to grab everybody we can. But again, we look forward to it. So if you hear us again, please give us a call. And we hope you have a good evening. Be safe and be well. A great weekend. And by all means, look for us again. But thank you so much for making the first one tonight. That's really going to set the precedent, so I think it's going to be a good night. Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Lima Lima, Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, 7 3s.
Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. This is Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Lima Lima, 73. And yeah, Randy, I will definitely look that page up. And thank you for the QSO there. And boy, you're sounding really good there. Over. And you have a great night.
Yeah, the only downside of the playback is I got a webcam that's pointed at me, so you gotta look at my face. Or you can just turn around and listen to it. But that was a wife's idea. Hey, have a good night. Take care. Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. QRZ other stations, come with your call, please.
Kilo 4 Whiskey India Sierra.
Kilo 4 Whiskey India Sierra. Nice big signal. Curtis, how you doing?
K0RWB. Good evening, Randy. You're sounding good as usual. K4WIS here. Name is Kurt here in Wisconsin. We talked a few days ago. You got an excellent signal here. 5.9 plus, 5.9 plus 15, something like that. Sounding good. Go ahead.
I'm going to give it right back to you. I just glanced at the meter when you said that, and you were 5.9 plus 10. So it looks like we've got a nice little pipeline into Wisconsin. I had a feeling, like I said the other night, I had a feeling we'd be talking again a couple, 3 days ago. Yeah, well, so how are things going this evening? It's Friday, and I'm hoping everything is going well. Go ahead.
Okay, real good, Randy. Well, last time we talked, the weather wasn't permitting. It was cloudy in the 40s. We've been having 60-degree weather, and by golly, we're going to hit 80 degrees tomorrow. So it's going to heat up pretty good here. So we're looking forward to that. Go ahead.
Well, that's a big change, isn't it? That should be a lot of fun. We had that today, and we were just kind of getting through it. I found myself looking for shade, which is kind of unusual. It got a little bit warm on some blacktop. We had to go into town to do a few things, but come about 4 o'clock at the angle, the sun changed a little bit. We were doing some work in the backyard, and it was actually quite comfortable. And we looked at the clock, and we were a little behind, so we got ourselves together and got ourselves out here on the air. Go ahead.
Okay, real good, Randy. I just got another question. How's the humidity there? I've been to Missouri several times. As I told you before, I got relatives there, and it used to get pretty humid. Is the humidity up there at all?
No, luckily not yet. Not yet. Now, is it coming? Oh, yes, it's coming. But so far, we haven't had any humidity per se. and it could show up at any time. I'm not looking forward to it. But currently, no, it was really quite dry today. I mean, there's always humidity in the air, but nothing like you're going to see July and August. So far, so good.
Okay, real good, Randy. Well, I won't hold you. We've talked before, and I love your live stream. I'm on there now, so you're looking good as always. And the station is sounding great here in the state of Wisconsin, so I know you'll probably have a lot of them calling for you. So just wanted to jump in, say hello, and hope your evening going well and all that good stuff. So have fun again there, Randy, and I'm sure we'll be in touch again there. K0RWB, K4WIS.
Oh, I know we'll have another QSO, no doubt. We've got a lot more coming. Yeah, and again, terrific signal as well. I'm hoping that the rest of the night will go that well. We were short notice last night. We had some internet issues, and then the entire house lost power. So we went from, hey, how you doing, QSO, to nothing. And I just had a feeling a lot of people were kind of questioning what the heck I was up to or what I was doing. But when you don't have power, you got no way to respond back to people. So we did one email on our phone, and that was it. So we're back and running at the moment. We'll see how long it lasts. Curtis, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Do enjoy it. And every time we've talked, we both had a good pipeline both ways. Hope it stays that way. It's Friday night. Be safe and be well. Great weekend. And by golly, call us again. We'll work it and see where you're at. Kilo 4, Whiskey India Sierra, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you, Curtis, 7-3s.
Okay, anytime, Randy. Sounding good as usual in Wisconsin. 7-3s, KWIS clear.
Okay, 7-3s. K0RWB, QRZ. Any stations, come with your call, please.
Radio Kilo 9, Charlie Yankee.
I got a Kilo 9 station again, please.
Kilo 9, Lima, Charlie Yankee. QSO?
Kilo 9, Charlie Yankee.
Correction. Kilo 9, Lima, Charlie Yankee.
Okay, my mistake. I didn't want to give you too many Charlies. Kilo 9, Lima, Charlie Yankee. Is that better?
Roger. As first contact in. Actually, a brand new general here. Kind of spinning the dial and looking for QSOs, and happened to trip over you, and I'm looking at your QRZ page and your live stream, and I got to say, it's an interesting way of doing it. Go ahead.
Well, I appreciate that. Hey, and welcome to the hobby. Congratulations, and a new general on top of that, even better. Boy, what's that? Last update, 4/29 of 2021 at 20:59. You are a new general. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the hobby, Rick. And yeah, it is a terrific hobby. And we did not invent this live stream, of course. Others that came before us. We had some encouragement from some others. My friend Alex down in Florida, my friend Doug up in Long Island. He was out here earlier, and it's just a little addition to amateur radio. I think most people like it. Again, we don't have much of an opportunity to really hear ourselves on the air. And this way, you can always listen to the playback, and you can kind of see what your signal strength is, because we broadcast the radio display on the channel, so you see exactly what I see in the radio. But you can actually see your voice inflection on the oscilloscope, your wave pattern, and it's just kind of a neat deal. But the bottom line is making contacts, having QSOs, and having a good time as well there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. Yeah, it's interesting. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make the contact here. I'm got a brand new 7300 here, but I'm working on my home tonight, and stuck in the attic of the house. So I wasn't sure if I was going to make the trip or not. Go ahead.
Well, the band is moving around a little bit. Your signal's between 5.7 and 5.9, and I did copy the 7300. I own one of those as well. It's in my alternate shack, which they call Studio B. And we use that a lot down there, and then for portable work. But yeah, you're not the first and not the last that's going to set up an antenna like that. And they seem to do a pretty good job. Again, nice signal into my receive. The name here is Randy the QTH. We're about 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Not a long distance between us. That's okay. The band dictates where we're going. But you've got a good signal. The audio is on a little bit on the high side. And I'm not meaning that in a bad way. It doesn't have full fidelity, but it's very audible and it's easy to understand you. And that could just be adjustments that you work on in the future or what have you. But your signal is fine, and we've got no problem copying you there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger there. Yeah, I turned down the compression a little bit here, see if that made a difference. I'm still playing with it. I'm working off a SM30 ICOM decimator. Not quite standard issue, but when I bought the radio, it came along with it. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I should be back up with a real antenna here pretty soon. I've got a Diamond CP5H on order that as soon as the wind stops blowing, HRO delivers it. I'm going to put it up on a 25-foot mast in the backyard, and we should be able to get the signal out a little bit better. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you sound worlds different now since you lowered the compression. Yeah, that's a very sensitive rig when it comes with compression. I run mine at 1. I run mic gain at 19. And they're a very sensitive radio. But when you get them dialed in, boy, they sound terrific. And I've had several QSOs with operators on the 7300 with the stock mic. And, it's no slouch. They do a terrific job. You get them dialed in just right. They sound terrific. So, like I said, if you drop your compression, you sound worlds different, much better. Now I'm starting to hear that full fidelity. Sounds very good in my receive.
Well, very good, Randy. Thank you very much. I don't want to tie up the conversation here. Probably others out there wanting to check in and say hi. I appreciate you taking my call. And I'll try and catch you again another Friday night. So I will say 7-3. Thank you very much. K0RWD 69LCY 73 is clear.
No, pleasure's all mine. Anytime. We do this during the week, usually about 7 o'clock Central for a few hours here on 40 meters. If you hear us again, by all means, give us a call, and we'll just pick it up where we left off. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe and be well. Have a great weekend, and look forward to working again. Again, congrats for the general upgrade as well. Kilo 9, Lima Charlie Yankee, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, 7-3s.
Kilo Golf 5, Radio America, QRP.
Okay, QRP, let's go again. Kilo Golf 5, come back again.
Kilo Golf 5, Radio America.
I love it. Kilo Golf 5, Radio America. Hey, Don, how's it going down in Oklahoma City?
Doing fine. I'm camping here down at the Lake Arbuckle down in Davis, Oklahoma.
Oh, that even counts more then, because you're not only portable QRP, you've got the trifecta there, Roger.
Yeah, it's a national, we call it a national NRA, whatever that is, national recreation area.
Oh, great. Well, you're about 5 and 5 in my receive, a little bit of noise. I hit my DNR switch, and all I've got is you in my receive. So it's doing quite well. So tell us real quick, what's the setup on QRP?
Using brand new, of course, ICOM 705, putting out 10 watts, and I'm using my go-to portable antenna, which is my Sodabeam Link dipole, up about 22 feet. And you're about a 3 to 5 over 9 over here.
Well, I count that as a QSO. That counts in my book. That's terrific. That's 705, a good little radio, really is. And you're doing real good on 10 watts. You kind of beat me to it. We were gonna give ourselves a few minutes at the top of the hour for QRP's portables and mobiles, but that's okay. You're able to get over top of the other stations. We were able to pull you out of there, so it's doing a great job. We have a lot of fun as well working QRP and portable, and it can be a real challenge. It can be a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, that. I love going to the park and throwing a wire over a tree. I was using KX3 for a long time. I started using this radio, and oh my gosh, it's just an amazing radio.
Yeah, it certainly has its place, no doubt. There's a lot of radios and other manufacturers, and the radios kind of overlap. But there's also some radios that kind of have their own little niche in the larger scheme of things, and that's certainly one of them. The 7000 was another great radio, and it's really nice that it's not a one-size-fit-all kind of thing. We've got some options for for different types of radio contacts and things we want to use. And it's really nice they came up with that radio. I've had an opportunity to talk with several operators running that radio, and they all do a terrific job. And it scares a lot of people running low power, but I think it makes you a better operator. Roger.
Yeah, I've always liked QRP. I still have my 817ND. Have all the filters on that, and then I've had a lot of QRP radios, the K3, KX3. I've had a KX2, and I have this now. I have this ICOM 705, and I like the Shack in the Box radio. I mean, right next to this radio, camping here, I have the 991A. So I just love the Shack in the Box.
Yeah, I can understand that. 991A is also a terrific radio as well. Our radio in the box a couple of years ago was an 857 Delta that we had set up, and we were using that for the National Parks on the Air program in 2016, and did a great job for us, and we were able to make some good contacts. Again, small, lightweight, compact radios, antennas, something you can throw in a backpack or a small Go box is really kind of neat. And, that's, in a spare of the moment, you just throw it over your shoulder or put it in the back of the pickup and off you go. That's kind of a neat deal. You can just set up in about 5 or 10 minutes, and you're on the air and making contacts. I mean, there doesn't get much better than that, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. Yeah, I have an 857 Delta, and I have a 300 hertz and 2900 kilohertz filter in there, and I actually had the BHI DSP filter installed on there, and it takes all that noise off the floor there, and it's a nice little portable radio too. That's what I put on my truck when I travel, and I use that ATOS 120 antenna.
Yeah, the antenna is always the big key, of course. And that's the thing that we always seem to battle the most. You can usually you do pretty good when you're sitting into shack and you've got different types of antennas you can get set up in a permanent configuration. But when you're throwing stuff together and you're running QRP or portables, it can be a little daunting sometimes. Based on location and what's available to you. So if you find something that works and does a good job, those are the ones you want to hang on to. Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. I mean, I've went through a lot of antennas. A lot of them. So I found some that really worked good, and the soda beam link dipole works really well. And then I have a infed half-wave antenna, 40 through 10 meters, that works pretty good too. Anything that don't have to use a tuner on, I really like.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I definitely do. I do carry an analyzer with me. So I can dial in I use an MP1, which is a manual screwdriver made by Super Antenna, and it'll work 10 through 40. So depending on what band I want to go on, I do use the analyzer, but once it's set up, I just sit back and let it do its job. But it is a lot of fun, QRP, and a lot of fun portable, but you did beat me to it, but that's okay. Like I said, you got in over the other folks there, and I'm glad we got a chance to work. And you sounded really good the entire time. The signal is what it is, but the audio's been there. I haven't heard any dips or dives, so it's working really good at your QTH. Hey, thanks for giving us a call. And if you get back into civilization, we're doing a live stream here on YouTube. So if you're really interested in listening how you sound on the air on your QRP rig, you can go to YouTube and just type in my call sign, K0RWB, red, white, and blue, and look for the video of today's date, and you can listen to our QSO and see how you sound on the air with that QRP rig. So you be safe and be well, and enjoy the rest of your evening and a great weekend. And by golly, if you hear us again, give us a call. We'll pick it up right where we left off. Thank you, Don, so much. Kilo Golf 5, Romeo Alpha, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, 7-3s.
7-3, and thank you very much for the QSO.
You bet. Take care. K0RWB, QRZ, any stations, anywhere?
Kilo Charlie 8, Alpha 0, Echo Mike Delta Denver.
I got the one the Echo Mike Delta. Take a standby real quick, and there was a Kilo Charlie 8 station.
Kilo Charlie 8, Whiskey Victor Golf.
Okay, I got you that time. Kilo Charlie 8, Whiskey Victor Golf. Good evening. Thanks for giving us a call here. The name is Randy, QTH 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Go ahead.
Good evening, Randy. Name here is Will. I'm about 45, 48 miles south of Cleveland, Massillon, Ohio.
Oh, fine business. Well, you guys are probably having a lot of fun Well, I don't know how close you are to Cleveland, but I know the draft is going on in Cleveland. It looks like they had a great time last night. I'd be curious to see what's happening this evening as well there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, drawing a big crowd up there. Yeah, I'm actually 8 miles from the Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, terrific. Have you had a chance to go in and visit?
A couple times, yeah. It's interesting. Been to the baseball one up in Cooperstown too. That's fun too.
Well, that's on our bucket list, is to get to Canton. We'd like to go there and go to a Hall of Fame. I think it would be a kind of a really interesting experience. Some of the players I know, I kind of grew up with, being a Kansas City guy, and I know some of the Chiefs from the 70s and 80s have made it into the Hall, and would certainly like to see the setups whenever. But it surely looks like a great time. And we did pull your page up, by the way. Got some terrific pictures there. And, I can see that you didn't put this together in 5 minutes. It's a pretty neat deal at which you've got some of your pictures there, Roger.
Thank you, Randy. Yeah, I've been doing photography since back in the 70s. Went from film, darkroom, medium format, digital, and on up to today. Really enjoy it and enjoy looking at what's out there in nature.
Yeah, we had some stints years ago with medium format as well. We had a couple of Mamiya C330s. We had a Hasselblad and a couple others, and time got away from us, so to speak, and other events as well, and got pushed back to the corner. And every once in a while, we open up the box and we see all the equipment there, and I go, well, probably wouldn't be good anymore since digital came out. You don't see much film use anymore, but that's okay. We'll just pass them down to the kids there, Roger.
Roger that, yeah. Did hang on to a couple film point and shoots, which ended up being necessary. A couple of those pictures are from Green Banks, West Virginia, National Radio Astronomy Observatory, and you can't take anything digital back on the buster that goes back there. So luckily I had a film camera that I could take with me still.
Yeah, that'd be very helpful. And I do remember the old days of the little disposable snappies, and they came in quite handy. And every once in a while, you'd get yourself a really good photograph. Other times, with a fixed shutter and so forth, it was a little challenging, but it was better than nothing a lot of times, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. Well, it proves useful there. Some of those pictures I have on the site are from the antennas down there. Pretty impressive sight and tour. If you come to Canton, you should swing through West Virginia.
Yeah, the YL is from West Virginia. We've been through there many times, and depending on certain parts of the year, times of the year, a beautiful country, and any of the mountain states, Colorado and the others are up in the Rockies are that way as well. So always nice to travel to those areas in the fall. I do like that. The colors are great, and you're constantly turning your head to try to see everything because there's just so much of it to see there. But well, it's really nice. I got a good signal on you. Again, it seems like the band is right now open pretty good. We're getting some from messages from Wisconsin and out in Pennsylvania, and we've worked some stations here in Ohio as well, up in Michigan, Oklahoma. So the band isn't really long. It may open up later on, but that's okay. There's lots of stations to talk close by, and we enjoy doing that as well there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that, Randy. Yeah, I'll let you go for this evening, but try to catch you another evening. Let some other people in here. Great talking to you. You're very strong, 5'9" plus here in the Northeast Ohio.
Well, we're letting the antenna do the work. We just have a 40-meter dipole on the side of the tower, about 38 foot, and it seems to work okay for us. And we're able to make some contacts. That's the whole bottom line. Just have a lot of fun and make contacts. Everybody provides all different kinds of information. We have some wonderful stories, and I think people like that as well. And the only little addition that we do is we're live streaming right now. So, again, as I told the other folks, if you're interested in listening to yourself on the air, you can go listen to the playback. If you're on the live stream, go to my channel, just type in my call on YouTube, and look for the one that says today's date and 40 Meter Friday. This is 40 Meter Friday. And give a look and a listen and see what you think there, Roger.
I will, Roger. You have a good evening, weekend, and catch you down the road somewhere. I'll send you 73s on your final there.
I appreciate it very much. Thanks for giving us a call, and look for you again. And be safe and be well, and have a great weekend. And if you hear us out there again, give us a call back. Kilo Charlie 8, Whiskey Victor Golf, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 73s.
Kilo 9, Papa Victor Charlie.
Oh, gosh, here he is again. Kilo 9, Papa Victor Charlie. Jason the Fireman. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not much. We just got Ham Shack 2.0 up and going with the new Heil mic here. How we sounding, over?
You know what? It's not bad. I think what you probably do, just send it over to me. Let me use it for a couple of months. I'll let you know.
Roger that. Got a question for you if you got a second.
By all means, brother, anytime. You're a regular. Anything I can do.
I'm designing a website, K9PVC.com there for local information. You mind if I link your live stream?
If you think that'll help you, by all means.
I think it might help us both. There's a lot of amateurs in the area that try to catch some people doing live streams,
Well, if you think that's something that'll help you, I don't have a problem with that. Again, I don't own the technology. If YouTube says, "Hey, Randy, you're not doing it right," and they shut me down, okay, then that's the thing. I will say about the microphone, Jason, it's got a lot of lows. I don't hear any highs, so you might want to do a little adjustments with it.
Roger that. I kind of need to put some padding on the walls here to reduce the echo before I get it too involved in adjusting. Which way do you think I need to go, up or down?
Well, it doesn't have any highs to it. That's what I'm hearing. And, of course, you can listen to it later on when you and I are talking, and you can listen to it for yourself. It's clear. Don't get me wrong, Jason. It's clear. It's very audible, but it's not like you've sounded before. It's definitely a little bit on the low side. It needs to have a little bit more highs that mixed in with it.
Roger that. Is that any better there, Roger?
No, it's all about the same.
How about that?
It's coming around a little bit.
All right, another 10%.
It's starting to get a little better.
Testing, 1, 2, testing.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a little bit clearer than it was in the beginning, but yeah, I think you're on the right track.
I did a boo-boo. Is that better?
No, that's the other direction. Wrong way.
Lordy. What about now? Is that about normal?
No, that's not good either. Where you had it there a minute ago was better. Now, you also got to understand, that's what I'm hearing in my receive. It doesn't mean I'm the end-all, be-all, but to me, it just sounds a little bit on the low side, and I don't hear a whole lot of highs to it. Well, I hope he didn't get off the air.
Needs to go buy a microphone.
Yeah, it's a good problem. I hope I didn't do that. You need firemen in your life. You don't want to run them off. Sorry about that. Jason, are you still in there, K9PVC?
Yeah, Roger, I hit the VFO there. My bad.
Okay, well, that was better. You dialed off too far on one side and went not enough on the other side, but I think it's coming around.
Yeah, Roger that. My compression was way down there. Wasn't paying attention there.
Well, that's all right. So it's at a continual adjustment. I've even done a few adjustments the last couple of nights myself. I've had a few comments from folks, and I don't have a problem with it. If we need to make a small adjustment, we'll make adjustments. I am going to run the entire night with mic EQ on. I usually don't do that, but I'm also a little bit farther away from the mic, so we're going to see how that sounds later on the playback.
All right, well, Roger that. We'll let you get back there, Randy, and appreciate the QSO here, and We'll go ahead and say 7-3 there to you, brother, and we'll catch you later, K9PBC.
Oh, Jason, always a pleasure, my friend. You know that. And I do appreciate you taking the time to check in. You've done it here quite often and always enjoy a chance to talk with you. We always have a good pipeline. I will say that. You've got a terrific signal as well, 5.9 plus. And, it seems like each time we talk, we had a good propagation between us. So anytime, anywhere, my friend, you know that. We'll be happy to talk with you again. And I know we'll have many more QSOs. Hey, enjoy the weekend, my friend, and we'll hope to hear you back out next week. Kilo 9, Papa Victor Charlie, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks, Jason, 7-3.
Should have bought an Icon.
There you go. Hey, I had a call a while ago of Echo Mike Delta. There was a station in there earlier with the Echo Mike Delta. If you're still in there, would you give me your call, please?
You should have bought an
Hey, that's
Icon.
affirmative. This is Kilo Alpha 0, Echo Mike Delta. Good evening, Randy. My name is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo. I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Well, thank you, Steve. Hey, I apologize. You called in. The other station just nipped you there at the last minute, but we were able to pull the last part of your call, and then I called QRZ, so I apologize for that. But thank you for hanging in there. I do appreciate that. And, thanks for giving us a call. The name here is Randy. The QTH, we're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri, but we're also a former resident of Aurora, Colorado Springs, and Fort Collins, so we know right where you are there, Roger.
Hey, Rogers, you've been in the area, so I know you enjoyed the mountains from what you were saying and the Aspen and taking a look at that, so that's great. Well, good to have an old friend back in the backyard. You're further than Kansas, but not much. You're on the backside of Kansas. And you're doing pretty good, Randy. You're without the preamp, you're between a 7 and a 9, and I put the preamp on, and it just really boldens your signal out real good. So, wonder how I'm doing. K0RWV, K0EMD.
Well, you're 5.9 in my receive, Steve, so yeah, it sounds terrific to me. And we don't run preamp here as well. The signals are what they are. I take more stock in what the audio is and the quality of the audio than I do a lot of times on the signal report. And that's just kind of how I work things. So, some people want to hear a big number, but if I can hear you, to me, that's a contact. That's kind of how I approach it. But we've been very fortunate the last 30 weeks or so. We seem to get into Colorado just about every night here on 40 meters. And we've got several in your area, one up there in Thornton. And we made a couple of contacts, father and son team, Mark, my friend up there in Thornton, Broomfield, Aurora, Severance, Fort Collins, a couple of stations in the Black Forest, 2 or 3 in Colorado Springs, got one in Pueblo. So we're getting the Front Range is being very well representative, Roger.
Hey, Rogers, is that Mark Christensen, WB0OFR?
No, I'm trying to think. Kilo Delta 6 India Quebec Whiskey is Mark's call.
And what's the suffix again?
Let's see. Let me go back to it again here. I got short-term memory. Kilo Delta, where did I see? 8? I think that's what I saw. And, oh gosh, I don't have it in front of me now. Oh, here it is. Kilo Delta 6, India Quebec Whiskey.
Okay, very good. I copied that, Randy. I'm running a Yaesu FT950 with a MFJ 986 tuner running into a Swan Mark II for an afterburner and using an all-band antenna stretching to the north.
So I got you on one of the major lobes, and we're doing good here.
Oh, it sounds terrific in my receive. And yeah, we had a 950 as well, terrific radio. Once you get the EQ set up, boy, the radios just sing. And we had ours paired up with a good microphone as well, and used it for many years. And then it found a new home in January, and we were very fortunate that it was going to a good home. And then we just kind of progressed to some of the newer equipment that's available right now. It certainly helps my receive, and a little easier for me to hear in the headphones. But the 950 was always a terrific radio for me. It was quite a workhorse, Roger.
Hey, it's been a good performer. It doesn't die on me, and it's been putting out for I don't know how many years now, 15 years or more. It's just a nice radio. It's got a lot of selection in the buttons and the functions, and more functions on the memory bands. So it's quite a radio in itself. It's like two radios, probably more than one. And I'm running a preamp, mic preamp processor, DBX 286S. I don't know if you're used to musicians' equipment, but I like to dabble in music stuff once in a while. And I used one of their channel strips for my audio, and I know it helps.
Well, it does sound good in my receive, so I would say it's definitely doing what it's designed to do. Again, if you get everything dialed in, the rig and the microphone have to kind of coexist, so to speak, and then you've got some stuff in between it to kind of enhance that. Again, it sounds terrific to me, so I'd say it's doing a very good job for you. Again, your signal's been really solid, and the same with the audio. So very pleasant to listen to, very clear, very audible, full fidelity. So I think you've got it dialed in just like it should be there, Roger.
Hey, Rogers, Randy, you got all four bases there, and I'm also, what else? I had something else in mind, but that covers it. The microphone. It's right in front of my face. It's a MXL Victor 67. It's a long tube, large capsule condenser mic, and that's what's running into the 286, and that's providing me the backup for this mic. And the mic is a nice mic. It's pretty big, it's long, it's slender, and it's a big capsule. So it got that going good. I like it better than the MXL 990, which is a fat capsule. And this has a much better sound to it. So I'm pretty happy there, Randy. Back to you. K0. Randy Whiskey Bravo. This is K0EMD, Denver.
Yeah. Okay, Steve, that's great. I did look back on my log. We had a contact last month on the 12th here on 40 meters as well. So thank you for giving us a call again this evening. Glad we got a chance to work you. Always enjoy trying to get contacts in the Colorado and in the Front Range there. It's kind of where we call home. We still have a house down the Springs, so we go back 3 or 4 times a year and always enjoy our time out there. So, again, sounds good in my receive. Sounds like you've got everything dialed in just like you should. Nice to hear you from the actual Denver address, not Arvada or Wheatgrass or Westminster or any of the others, but you have a Denver address, so that's pretty cool as well. Thanks for giving us a call. We're going to see if we can get a few more contacts before we have to shut down tonight, but I do appreciate you being in there, and nice to work you again. Have a great what's left of the Friday evening. Be safe and be well. Have a great weekend. And by golly, look for us again. I'll say 7-3s for now. Kilo Alpha Zero Echo Mike Delta, Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, Steve. 7-3s.
Okay, 73, Randy. We got your picture up and the scope and everything, and it's looking good. And now I'll get to take a closer look at it. I tuned that in just prior to getting on with you, and it's a nice setup, and I recall now seeing you on this before, and it's a nice little toy of technology, TOT. So you have a good one, Randy. K0RWB. This is KA0EMD wishing you best 73.
Yeah, you bet. My pleasure. My pleasure as well. And I have a feeling we'll have many, many more QSOs. I look for it. 7-3s. The Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. QRZ.
Kilo India 5, Lima Delta Lima.
Well, that was quick. Kilo India 5, Lima Delta Lima. Terry, you weren't letting anybody get in on that one, were you?
Fast on the draw. Tell you what, you are 5'9" plus over here in Texas. I'm outside of Sulphur Springs, Texas, in Hopkins County, HP. But anyway, I want to tell you what a great sounding station you have there, QSL.
Well, I appreciate that. It's funny you should say that, because in my headphones it sounds terrible. It really does. But I know what it sounds like on the air or on the playback. And is this something you kind of learn to live with? I'm hesitant to not use the headphones because the radio has a top firing speaker, which I never was a big fan of. And I just think I might lose something. And plus I don't want the YL to hear it. But again, I can't take credit for it. I had a lot of help trying to get these EQs and the setup and the rig together. And even with Mr. Heil himself, he helped me a little bit with this particular microphone setup. So I'm glad it sounds good and received. At least people aren't cringing too much. A terrific signal, by the way. And another, a first contact this evening in Texas. So, gosh, we got a really good pipeline there. Go ahead.
QSL, yeah, I tell you, I'm running an Icom 7300 with a Heil mic, and I'm running through an Ameritron 811H amp, and I don't know, it's working for me, but someday I'll get away from this tube topper and get something different. But I tell you what, you certainly sound great on this end.
Well, you've been 5'9" plus 5 or 10, so the signal is really good. The only thing I might comment about the audio, it sounds like it's driving just a little bit. I'd be curious what your compression's set at.
My mic is set on 40%.
Yeah, but how about your compression?
It's set on, 4.
Would you be willing to try and tune it down a little bit and see what it sounds like?
I certainly would.
Because you can listen to it later. You know, we're live on YouTube, so you can listen to the changes yourself. Why don't you try putting it on 1 and see what happens?
QSL, I am on 1 as we speak.
Okay, and then take your mic gain down to about 20.
QSL, that is 1 on the compression and 20 on the mic gain.
What a big difference. And again, you can put it back. You can certainly put it back, Terry. But in my receive, that's a huge difference. It's not driving too hard. It's not harsh. It's got a little bit more fidelity to it. And I have the 7300 as well. That's why I'm telling you about these settings. I run 19% on mic gain. I run compression at 1. And I run bass at -2. And I run treble at +3 on the transmit. So just kind of give you an idea there. And Andy says maybe we'll try compression at 2, but boy, it sure sounded a little better in my receive that last time.
QSL, I appreciate that. Now, when I got this radio, there's a fellow that lives 3.5 miles from me or so, and he's got a 7300, and he set his up. He says, no, this is what you need to set it on right here. So it's
I guess it's trial and error, but I've got a Kenwood 140S that I'd like to play on, and it's QRP. But anyway, I do appreciate you coming back to me, and thank you very much for the lesson on setting this thing up. I'll leave it here, and hopefully I'll do better.
Well, again, and propagation has a lot to do with that as well, because, the signals can get messed around. And all I'm telling you is what it sounds like to me. But, go to my channel there on YouTube and listen to it yourself, because nobody's going to know your voice as good as you do, Terry. And you can listen to it when you first came on. And that would probably be, if you go to the video today, you can fast forward to about 50 minutes in. And that'd be a good place to start. And then listen to when you first called and I asked about the changes to where it is now. And then you decide what sounds better for you, because, again, nobody knows your voice as good as you do, Roger.
Roger that. Well, I tell you what, I sound like Pee Wee Herman to me, but hopefully I don't on the other end.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. That's how I sound as well. And, again, it's really weird. Maybe it's the quality of the speakers in my headset or just what, but a lot different when I hear it on playback, and that could be speakers as well. But again, I just thought you made that little bit of a change, because my understanding is the 7800 is real sensitive to compression, and my gain I think is 50% out of the box. So you could even move it back up there or what have you. But they're really sensitive to compression, is what I've been told, and that even came from a presentation we had with Bob Heil 3-4 weeks ago. And he mentioned that as well. So, again, it's something to play around with, but this way you can at least listen to our QSO and you could decide what sounds better for you.
Well, QSO, I do appreciate the information for sure. And I'll leave it like this. And your QSA or your YouTube page, where is that?
You can go to YouTube and just put in my call sign, K0RWB, or you can go to my QRZ page. You want to look me up in QRZ, I've got a link to it as well. You can click on the link and I'll take it right to you. And then you look for today's date. The title is called 40 Meter Friday. Well, it's 40 meters, and it's Friday, so that's good. I titled it. And another station who's listening, who's on the live chat, my friend Andy, says you sound 150% better. So that should give you some ideas as well, Roger.
I do appreciate it. Thank him very much for me. I didn't hear him. But anyway, 73s to you, Randy, and I appreciate the information. I look forward to another QSL someday.
Yeah, I do too. We do this during the week. And this is our third week on 40 meters. We try to start about 7 o'clock Central. We were a few minutes behind tonight. We were a few minutes ahead last night. So that kind of gives you an idea. We're going to be somewhere around here on 40 meters. So if you hear us again, by all means, give us a call. We'll just kind of pick it up where we left off. And I appreciate you letting me get a chance to make a few adjustments. Another comment here on the chat. Kevin says you sound good too. So maybe we're on to something. But again, listen to it yourself and decide. Be safe and be well. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. And by all means, give us a call again. Kilo India 5, Lima Delta Lima, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 7-3s.
7-3s to you, Kilo India 5, Lima Delta Lima, clear.
All right, 7-3s. K0RWB, QRZ, any stations, come with the call.
Kilo 9, Kilo Romeo Alpha.
The Kilo 9, was it Romeo Alpha Romeo again?
Kilo 9, Kilo Romeo Alpha.
It was close. The Kilo 9, Kilo Romeo Alpha. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Doing good, Randy. Doing good. Hey, it was nice to see our buddy on YouTube today, giving us a little bit of an update there. He's looking pretty good compared to what it looked like a couple of weeks ago. Boy, he was in some bad shape. But hey, Andy, I see you on the live chat. I don't know if you're on the air or not, but I saw you in the live chat as well. So just wanted to jump in here and say, hey, I'm not going to keep it because I know you and I talk quite often. So I'll let you make some other newer contacts. So just want to say 73. It was good to see Alex. Whiskey 7 Hotel United. He's getting back into the swing of things. So 73 guys, take care, and I'll be clear on your final there, Randy.
No problem. Yeah, we caught just a little bit of that. We were trying to finish up some yard work this evening, and we were downstairs doing a few things, and we were trying to finish up the last little adjustments on one of our portable antennas that we're going to be taking out here in a couple of weeks, and went down to see if it was going to work or not and what kind of receiving I was getting, and just happened to have the computer on, and I saw the little blurb that said he was live. So we caught tail end, and I want to send him a quick little note that we were thinking about him. I don't know if he saw it or not. Then we had to jump back off to finish the rest of our stuff, which got us a little late here this evening, but we're out here. And, you know, this has been one of the better nights, Kevin, we had in a long time. Man, we've got some terrific signals. The band is really quiet. Everybody's been really great with audio, and the signals are good, and a lot of good conversations, and this is kind of what we shoot for. But, yeah, it's always a pleasure to hear you. And I don't know why I didn't pick it up to start with. I don't know where I got the other call at. But, yeah, I'm glad to see you doing better. And he'll get back on the air when he's good and ready. But he still had a little bit more color in his face, and I could tell he was feeling better. So I'm glad to hear that as well. Hey, have a good weekend, my friend. And we'll definitely hear you again. Kilo 9, Kilo Romeo Alpha, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 7-3.
Okay, Randy, take care. Yeah, my pan adapter was looking pretty good tonight. The band looks pretty full, and I already made one DX before I came down here to say hey. So it was only up to Quebec, but I'm gonna go ahead and look to see if I can't find some more stations to DX with. So since the band looks like it's in pretty good shape, even on 20, I was up on 20 meters, and there was some activity on 20 as well, and that's unusual for me this time of day. All right, well, 73, Randy, take care, and we'll catch you down the log.
Yeah, look forward to it. Thanks again. We'll go ahead and clear. K0 RWB QRZ. Any stations, come with your call.
Kilo Delta 9, Romeo Bravo Yankee.
There was a Lima, Quebec, standby 1. I think the other one was Kilo Delta 9, Romeo Mike Yankee. Is that a Roger?
Kilo Delta 9, Romeo Bravo Yankee. Name's Joel, Juliet Oscar Echo Lima, up in northern Wisconsin.
Okay, Joel, my apologies. I was trying to write and type at the same time. That never a good combination for me, but we've got you that time. Hey, thanks for giving us a call. Again, the name here is Randy, and the QTH. We're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. And we're also streaming live on YouTube tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard you mentioning, I've been listening a while here, mentioning the YouTube stream, so I got that up here now, too. Yeah, quite interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how I sound. So, yeah, I'm running Yaesu FTA DX10 myself. I just got here a little over a week ago now. Yeah, I'm new to HF here. Got my general ticket last month, but took me a little while to get set up here. Running 100 watts on an inverted V-dipole. Over.
Well, I think that's great. And hey, welcome to the hobby, and congrats on the upgrade to general. Yeah, I am as well, and I'm totally happy with that. To me, there's a lot of bands and a lot of frequencies to work with. And, you know, again, if people want to move on to a higher class, I think that's great as well. I'm certainly very happy where I'm at. But, yeah, it is a terrific hobby. And, you know, it's been a lot of fun. We've had the FTDX10 for about 2 or 2.5 months, I think, somewhere around the middle or end part of February. We're still kind of learning from it a little bit. We did the last firmware update that also had the presets if you're interested in FT8. That was the conversation the last couple of nights. So it's a terrific radio, I think. The receiver does not seem to get overloaded with nearby stations. And the DNR, the digital noise reduction, that's also adjustable, to me is a great little feature. If there's any noise on the band, you know, you click on the button and it all goes away and you hear nothing but the station. That's pretty nice as well. It's a good little compact radio. We're very happy with it. And we did like the fact that it had the external monitor feature. We're using a video capture card that's tied into our computer so we can actually put the display on our channel. And I think that helps a little bit as well. You know, not only do you get to kind of hear what you sound, but you can see your signal strength. You can look at the oscilloscope. You can look at the voice patterns, you know. And I just think it adds a little bit to it. And I think, you know, at this point, I'm not giving it back. To me, it's a great radio, Roger.
Yeah, I'm liking mine a lot here. Having a lot of fun with it. And got a lot to learn on it, for sure. This will keep me busy a while. And Yeah. Over.
Well, are you running the stock mic, or do you have a different microphone for it?
I'm running the stock mic on it.
Okay, good enough. And, a lot of people discount the hand mics that come with these rigs, and really, they're actually very good microphones nowadays. I've heard several of the 7300s in the last week or so, and the FTDX10s with the stock mics, and if they hadn't have told me, I wouldn't have believed it. I mean, they sounded really that well. The presentation we had a couple of weeks ago with Bob Heil, and one of the conversations was on this particular radio, and one of the things that he suggested to pay attention to is you've got 3 EQs in the rig, but the more important things on this particular radio is the mic gain, the compression, and the AMC, the automatic mic control, and the processing. Those 3 will do more to change your audio than what is in the EQ. Now, that came from Mr. Heil himself, and I certainly put a lot of stock into it. So, it's you get it dialed in, the thing is just going to sing. It's going to sound terrific, Roger.
Yeah, that's a lot of useful information there. Thanks a lot. Yeah, looking forward to trying it here. Yeah, I've been getting good signal reports here with this setup as it is, like same stock mic and all. So far I'm happy, but eventually I might just want to upgrade. But we'll see what I can afford here. Okay, over.
Oh yeah. Oh, trust me, I know what you mean. I don't know about you, but I have yet to find anybody who will pay me to be on the air. So yeah. It's a little pricey, I have a feeling maybe over time it'll come down a little bit, but I just thought it was the direction that I wanted to go. Excuse me, and I was willing to pay that. And I do like the stock mic, but what I'm doing here, I've got 3 monitors in front of me, a keyboard, and I just can't have a hand mic in my hand and try to do what I'm doing. So I use a boom mic. I've got a foot switch. So we can key the mic and so forth, and we can kind of look around and do what we have to do. So, but again, the rig is terrific, and you sound good. I'm not suggesting at all that you need to make any changes. The only thing I'm suggesting is if you go to different microphones, those are some of the key elements you'll have to look at to try to adjust those a little bit. And most of the time, I don't even run mic EQ. I have it turned off. I do have it on tonight. I'm going to run it all night. And I'm going to listen to it later to see if it sounds like I think it should. And we'll probably get some comments as well, and I look forward to that. So, again, congrats on the radio, and congrats on the upgrade. It sounds good in my receive. It's really nice to hear you up there in Wisconsin, and I think, it's on to bigger and better things there, Roger.
Yeah, thanks a lot there. I suppose I could let somebody else talk, perhaps, and so I'll let you go here. Thanks for the QSO and 73 to you. K0RWB, this is KZ9RBY, clear.
Thank you so much, Joel, and we appreciate you giving us a call. Have a great evening, and have a good weekend as well. 7-3s, Kilo Delta 9, Romeo Bravo Yankee, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. 7-3s, QRZ, K0RW.
Kilo November 4, Sierra Oscar November.
Kilo Golf 4, Mike.
Kilo Echo 0, Whiskey Sierra Alpha.
Whiskey India 9, Juliet Alpha.
Okay, I got a couple in there. The Kilo November 4 station again, please.
Kilo November 4, Sierra Oscar November.
Okay, there we go. Kilo November 4, Sierra Oscar November. David, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really well. Also watching you on YouTube here, and this is my first time discovering your channel.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Miracles never cease. I hear it a lot, and very appreciative. Oh, just been in the band and came across this, and I did. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, thank you for taking the time to give us a call this evening. We're just making contact, having a wonderful time. The band has really settled down for the first time this week, and we haven't had any internet issues yet. We didn't have any power outages like we did last night. So far so good, and it sounds really good in my receive. And I think that's probably the longest contact tonight in North Carolina. So thank you again for that, Roger.
Yeah, you're located in Kansas City, Missouri?
We're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City on the Missouri side, a little town called Bate City, but you'd scratch your head and say what, so I just say, we're east of Kansas City.
I'm glad to be getting over in that direction. When I first got on the air, I was getting up and down the East Coast, but I didn't see them getting any westerly stations. So it's nice to be able to get over in that direction. I just have a simple setup here. I guess you're looking at it there on the video, and it's a ICOM 7300 on a inverted V, about 20 feet in the air. That's on just a 20-foot pole down at the hardware store, and feeding it with some coax and putting 100 watts into it.
Well, again, 100 watts in a wire, it does a terrific job. And no, you sound good in my receive. Sounds excellent. And signals 5.7, 5, and 9. I don't know. I couldn't see why you wouldn't make it out toward this direction. I mean, it's really not that hard to hear you at all. You got a really good signal, and the audio sounds good. And again, it's amazing how many stations. We kind of did an informal poll last week when we were doing this, who was operating 100 watts in a wire, basically, and there was quite a few stations, and everybody was doing quite well in my receive, and I kind of question myself sometimes why my electric bill is so high. And, most of the stations, including yourself, sound so good on 100 watts in a wire. It's just amazing there. Go ahead.
Well, I think a lot of it depends on the conditions. I haven't been doing this very long, so I don't really know what depends on what. But I was talking with a guy down in Florida who said he could barely hear me. And he said, how much power do you have? I said, well, I've only got 100 watts. And I don't know if I used the word only, but he said, oh, that's probably why I can't hear you very well. And he found out later he's doing more like 700 watts. But I suppose it depends on a lot of different things. I personally think that my latest thoughts on my setup are that I may need to change away from using the coax and perhaps use a ladder line and have less loss on my system. My SWR is low at the radio, but I don't think I've ever actually tested the antenna itself.
Well, what's the distance of coax you have from the top of your antenna to your radio?
It is 87 feet.
Okay, not terribly bad. I run LMR 400, which is a little bit thicker stuff. I have that on all the antennas, even on this 40-meter dipole. I just had some extra, and most of mine are 100-foot sections. And, if I have extra, I spool it up right before it goes into the house or whatever. But I've used that quite a bit, and that's supposed to have, a little bit more degree of shielding, so a little bit less loss. And, the greater the distance, the more loss you'll have by the time it gets to the antenna. If your SWRs aren't bad, the RG8 and what have you does pretty good. It can help you, maybe a little bit on noise if you want to a different type of coax. It'd be hard to tell. And there could be others out there as well listening that might have comments for you later as well. But, I mean, that's kind of where I would look. If my SWRs were high or something, I'd maybe kind of look at that a little bit. On 40 meters or most of the bands, altitude is our friend. The higher you can get your antenna, the better it's going to operate, of course. And I did see your picture on your page on the pole. I mean, it's a good setup. A lot of people won't tie their coax off to their push-up pole. That could cause some issues as well. I don't do that with mine. I kind of let the coax dangle away from the pole itself. That might be something to look at as well, Roger.
Oh, yeah. I guess I just did that to make it look nicer, look tighter. I guess I didn't think about how that would affect it, especially since the metal pole.
Well, it could. I'm not saying it would, and I'm not the end-all be-all, and I'm no expert. That is for sure. I'm just telling you from my past experience I've had. I've used metal push-up poles, and even on on some other surfaces, and I don't want to give it any reason to interfere with any of the signal going out, radiation going out, of course. And especially if you're working with 100 watts, you want as much of that possibly going out as possible. Again, you sound good in my receive. I think you're doing a terrific job, honestly. I don't. You don't want your dipole flat top because that'll give it lobes however you got it positioned. Or inverted V. That's basically what it is, and that's what my configuration is here as well. So it should be omnidirectional. And again, I think it's working well, but propagation always dictates where we go there, Roger.
Yeah, that's for sure. I was listening to your QSO earlier with the gentleman that was adjusting his settings with the microphone and whatnot. I'm using a stock microphone with this 7300. I don't know if your comments there were using a different microphone or not, but my mic gain is at 50%, and the compression, I guess that's what comp is underneath that, is at let's see here.
I'm sorry, David. Did I miss it? What did you say your compression was at?
Compression was at 5. I think I may have bumped my dialing.
Well, again, it doesn't sound bad to me at all. And there isn't any correct setting because we all have different voices and so forth. So there's not one setting works for everybody. You've got a default setting. You can work off of that. I know out of the box the radio runs 50% mic gain, and if it works, okay, fine. I was told that they're real touchy when it comes to compression, but you don't sound bad the way you've got it set. And then I did some adjustments on the transmit audio on the bass and on the treble. I took some bass away based on the microphone I was using, and I added some treble based upon the microphone I was using. Now, again, if I used a stock mic, I would have to change those settings again. But you sound good in my receive. Again, don't take my word for it. We're doing the live stream. Listen to it yourself and see how you sound on the air. And maybe, again, nobody knows your voice as good as you do. And, you may say that sounds just like me, and I'm good to live with it. And that's the way to do it as well there, Roger.
Yeah, that's true. And, of course, a lot of what you get as far as bass or treble can depend a lot on how far away you are from the microphone. When I coach people on how to use a microphone, I tell them, I say, put the microphone about 1 inch from your face, or 1 inch from your mouth. Don't talk directly into it, and talk a little bit louder than you normally do. And if you do all three of those things, you, in my opinion, you sound pretty good when you use a microphone. But I don't always do all of those things all at the same time, and I don't have the same habits. I don't talk the same volume every time I open up the microphone either. So, that can really affect things too. As far as background noise and other things like that, that would definitely affect things as well.
Yes, very true. Would you be willing to try adjusting your comp to number 2 setting?
Yeah, we'll do that. That's 5 here, and turning it down to 2. 2 now, KN4SON, Kilo November 4, Sierra Oscar November.
Okay, a little bit difference. We had a comment on the live chat of my friend Andy. Said, take it down to 2. Because others are listening as well. And again, this is a great thing about it, is you can get all kinds of opinions and inputs, and you kind of base it upon there. There's a little bit of adjustment, a little difference, David, not huge, but I think, it's making a little bit of difference. I would also scroll through your menu there on your power meter and look at your ALC to make sure your ALC isn't clipping as well. ALC should be sitting about 80 to 90%. I think you can hit the menu and then go to the touch screen where it says audio, and I think you can look at the ALC as well. It might be something to take a look at, but you don't want to go over into the red. But I can tell a little bit of difference, but not a big amount, and that's okay. Small adjustments can have big impact, so we want to do small adjustments there, Roger.
Yeah, And ALC is the automatic level control?
That is correct.
Yeah, my talking now, just kind of all the way up at the top of that, the red line, and don't go past the red line very much. So I assume that's what we want.
Yeah, you want to get it close. Again, I think and even maybe a little adjustment on the mic gain. I think you said you had it at 50%. You could try maybe and adjust it to 45 or 40%. You'd like to keep ALC 80 to 90%. You really don't want to go in the red too much because that will clip it a little bit. One thing I do like is you have full fidelity on your audio. So I'm hearing lows and highs. So we're getting the range. It's just a matter if it's starting to process too hard, and it can kind of alter your audio a little bit. Again, we're talking about little changes that may not seem like much, but could have a big impact there. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's something that I can't really hear. My background, or at least part of it, is broadcast radio. And when I was on the air there, of course, in the headphones, we listen to what's on the air. And so I can always hear it. And it's not the case with not the case with this radio, obviously, and so it's that part of it is a little bit disorienting for me, I guess. Talking into a microphone, because I'm used to having when I'm doing it and caring about how it sounds. I'm listening to the headphones as well, and I usually had my headphones turned up pretty loud so that I heard them instead of my own voice inside my head. It's actually one of the things that's kind of fun about being on the radio, is hearing your own voice in your head like that.
Well, like I said, the little changes you've made, I can tell a difference. But you've had full fidelity the entire time, which sounds really good. And when you're talking earlier about your microphone in the distance, an inch away and so forth. Again, the microphone's going to be different. You have experience with it because in broadcast radio, you can't eat the microphone. You have to be a certain distance away. And I usually run 6 to 8 inches away from my microphone. Of course, it's a little bit different setup. It's a Heil mic. It's not a bass. It's not a stock mic and so forth. You're getting to the point where the audio is really clean, and it's crisp. It's got full fidelity. You can make a little adjustments with the mic gain. Another comment was, take it down to about 42%, what have you, because you don't want to push your ALC, to the edge. You don't want to hit it at 100%. It could start to clip on you and so forth. You keep it about 80 to 90%. It usually works pretty good. So again, a little adjustments can make some dramatic results for you, and you won't hear it necessarily, but as we're making these changes, you can listen to it later on the playback here on my channel, and you'll be able to tell the difference there as well.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'll be doing later. This is down at mic gain 42, and I'm looking at the ALC, and it's not going past the red at all now. Even if I talk a little louder like that, it does, but not after that. So it's good to be able to know that it can make those adjustments and make a difference.
Yeah, when the band is moving around a little bit, but when it's really steady, you're going from a monotone to a full fidelity audio. So I know we're getting there. And there's been several comments on the live chat that said, "Yep, sounds great. He's getting there." So I think you're on your way. But again, you'll know your voice better than I do, and the others do either. So you can listen to the playback. But I appreciate you letting me try to do that. You could have said, "No, I like it the way it is," and I can respect that. Again, it's not the end-all, be-all. I have no problems making adjustments to mine as well. But I think, especially with your background, you're trying to sound as good as possible. We're only working with 3KC, so it's not like, we're going to be a studio quality, but we try to get as close as we can. So if this helped a little bit, I'm glad I could. But I had some help here on the chat as well. People were making some suggestions. And, that's the kind of cool thing about ham radio. It's a great community, Roger.
Yeah, I really enjoy that as well. and very glad to know I can get into Kansas City. One of the things I'd like to be able to do is talk to my dad on the radio. He lives in Iowa, and so I'm very glad to know. I did have a contact in Colorado Springs not too long ago, and I've gotten to Australia on FT8, which has also been fun. I didn't think I'd be doing so much on FT8, and found out I enjoy that as well. So it's been fun. I've been on HF here with my new radio and my new license for a little over a month now.
Well, that's terrific. Again, congratulations for that. And the thing is, you can call CQ and you can hey, I need some help with this, and you'll just get a whole room full of operators coming back. And I think it's great. That's one thing I love about the hobby is everybody is willing to help, give their input, their 2 cents, and I certainly take that. And that's what we try to do here. When I do the live streams, that's what we try to do. We try to have good QSOs. We can't talk for hours on end. We don't do 5.9 QRZ. We got to kind of find a middle ground here. But there's a great exchange of information that people are willing to give. There's been some great stories and so forth, and I think that's what makes it fun. And as long as everybody else is out there and enjoying it, we're going to continue doing this as well. And if it adds a little bit to someone's evening or time on the radio, hey, great. That's what we look for. But thanks for giving us a call. We're going to see if we can't get a few more yet while we've got some time. But thank you for letting me suggest a few changes and you doing those. If you want to change it back the way it was, wouldn't blame you at all. I certainly can understand that. And, that's just the way it works. And if you like those changes, well, listen to it later on the playback and you'll see for yourself. David, thanks again. By all means, give us a call and look forward to working you again. We'll be back out on Monday back here on 40 meters. Usually about 7 o'clock Central is when we start. And if you hear us again, by golly, give us a call again, and we'll just kind of pick it up where we left off. I'd be curious to see what you think on the playback as well. Kilo November 4, Sierra Oscar November, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, David 73s.
All right, thank you to you as well, KN4 SON.
Okay, take care. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, QRZ. Any stations, come with your call, please.
Whiskey 9, Kilo Delta Bravo.
Okay, I got a Kilo 9, Kilo Delta Bravo.
It was a Whiskey 9, Kilo Delta Bravo.
Well, did I say kilo? I'm looking at it. It says whiskey. What was I thinking? My apologies. Whiskey 9, Kilo Delta Bravo. Ken, how are you this evening?
I am fabulous. And yourself, sir?
You know what? If I was doing any better, I wouldn't have do with myself. How's that for an answer?
Yeah, if I was any better, I'd be evil twins and nobody wants another.
There you go. Hey, thanks for giving us the call. I'm hoping you hadn't had to sit around too long, but again, we don't do 5.9 QRZ, and we try to be respectful of everybody's time. And we're glad you're giving us the call this evening. I just pull it up here. We don't have a contact with you in the log, so thank you for the first one there. Go ahead.
Copy that. Can I get your call sign again, please, over?
You bet. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, red, white, and blue. The name is Randy. We're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, copy that, Randy. My name is Ken, and I was actually listening to you talking to that gentleman on Zycom. There's another part he may want to look at is his reference level for his antenna will also cause him problems.
Yeah, again, that's kind of what we're hoping for. What I don't like, or I would hate to see, is somebody jump in while we're in the middle of a QSO. But what you just did is exactly what I want people to hear. You heard the conversation, you make an input. I would have never thought of that, so I appreciate you doing that. That sounds great.
Yeah, Roger. It's there's actually a calibration mode on the radio itself. The ICOM has its own calibration mode, and he can set his reference to that, and that'll reference his antenna and keep everything clean.
Now, see, I had no idea, and I have the radio. I did not know that. So where were you at 10 minutes ago?
I was respectfully listening, not trying to cut the conversation.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. No. Again, I am not the end all be all. I'm learning something every day, and other people have different aspects of amateur radio. So I appreciate that. I had no idea that there was a calibration in there. So that's good to know. So hopefully, hopefully David heard that as well and can get something from it. But I appreciate you giving the information. So if I pull this up right, we're kind of around Joliet. Does that sound about right?
That's correct. I'm right here. I'm actually in Shorewood, which is right next to Joliet. 45 miles from Chicago, give or take.
Okay, so you're kind of south and west of Chicago.
Roger, roger.
Okay, yeah. Again, I think the longest contact so far, well, it might be a tie, North Carolina and Colorado, but that's okay. 40 meters, it's going to dictate where we're going, but by and large, all the signals have been terrific tonight, and yours is no exception as well. I mean, there's a little noise on the band. We always deal with that, night in, night out, but everybody's had great signals. Audios have been really good as well, and I do hate to make suggestions from time to time, because everybody hears things differently, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not a one-off. It's like you said, it's not a one-off cure-all, but it's one of those things I just thought I'd bring up over.
No, and I'm really glad you did, because I would have never thought of that. Well, I didn't even hear about it until you mentioned it. But, again, I think everybody, if you're running 100 watts, you want as much as possible going out through the antenna, of course. And if there's stuff that gets in the way of it, now you're only putting out 60 watts or 70 watts, whatever the case may be. So, again, any other information that can be shared, I'm all for it.
Roger, roger. And I'm actually running the ICOM 7300 barefoot on an off-center dipole.
Terrific. A couple of weeks ago, we did another informal poll of if people are running a 7300 or had one in their quiver, so to speak. And it's amazing the number of 7300s that are out there. I mean, I have one myself. We got that into January. A great radio. Boy, they're so simple to set up audio-wise compared to some other radios. And, they generally sound pretty good out of the box, but you can tweak them a little bit and make them sound really, really good.
No, Roger, they're a wonderful rig to play with on HF. Just about any band. My off center, I can go to 80 meters all the way down to 6. But like I said, it's got some quirks to it. But it's an awesome radio, and I'm running a Hi-O Pro 6 headset.
Okay, I was just going to ask you about the microphone. Yeah, that's a very good headset. The only thing I wish the radio had, and it's a wish, wish it had, not have to have, would be the external monitor feature. And it would not surprise me at some point they don't come out with like a 7310 or something like that has the external monitor. It's really nice to have that. I have that here on the FTDX10, and we use like a video capture card so we can put the display on the YouTube channel, and it's really nice. I find myself constantly looking over at it, and when I have it up on the monitor, I've got 3 32-inch monitors. That's really nice. If you want to see if there's any signals or not, it's really nice to have the external monitor feature. I mean, it's not a big deal breaker per se, but I would like to see if that ICOM would have that. That'd be really nice to have.
Oh, in my eyes, it'd be wonderful, but I see him doing it just to keep the simplicity and the price down, because price comparison to some of the other radios out there, it's a pretty solid rig to run.
Oh, and that's just it. It is probably the best. It is the best radio out there price-wise. I mean, they were doing rebates. I got in on the rebate, so it was right at $1,000. That's a lot of radio for that kind of money. And I'm kind of wondering, every once in a while, was this radio here worth the extra money from the 7300? Some days, yeah, some days, I'm not too sure, but I'm not going to give either one of them back. So we're going to continue running them. But I did buy the 7300 knowing that I was going to use it later for portable. Really nice, lightweight rig compared to some to take with you, and still have a waterfall and all the other features with it. So I think all in all, it's a great radio. I just kind of like to see that external monitor.
Oh, I would love to see that myself, and that's always something I've always liked about some of the other rigs. But for the simplicity of it, I like the fact that I got a portable radio. I can take it with me. I've got everything to take with me, and just walk out the door and go, okay, I'm playing.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt. We're looking at that in the next couple of weeks of doing a portable live stream. We're trying to finish up some logistics and working on a couple of antennas that we did a little bit today. And of course, that's going to be the radio we take, because it is easy to throw it in the box. It sounds good with the hand mic. You know, a little bit of tweaking and it'll sound terrific. But it's a lot easier radio to carry around than this FTDX10. This is a much bigger radio, a little bit heavier, and I just want to deal with it. But that 7300 is going to be the perfect radio when now you want to use for portable work, and you can throw a laptop onto it and just go to town. So we're looking forward to it. And again, we kind of knew that's where that radio was going to be used for us.
Yeah, you can always run this and just get you an NVIS for 20, 40 meter, and you're rock and roll.
Well, that's true too. Well, we have Studio A and Studio B. My friend Todd had named them for us. Studio A, where we're at right now with this equipment. Studio B with the 7300. It's kind of like I guess the backup or secondary equipment, you would guess. My understanding in amateur radio, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So you have to have a redundant system. So we have the 7300 down there. We use a Ten-Tec Hercules 2 solid state amp, no tune amplifier. We do tie into all the antennas on either station, and we run an ICM Heil mic on that 7300. And it seems to work well for us. We do a little FT8 down there. It's a little easier setup for FT8 on the 7300 than it is on this radio. So we like to have those two setups. If the wife is doing conference calls or Zoom, her office is next to mine. We'll get noisy. We go downstairs. So it's nice to be able to flip on that radio and just go to town because it does a great job as well.
Roger, Roger. Well, I'm sure you have other men and other people here would like to talk to you, and I'm going to bid you 73 so we can free up some space for other people to contact you. Over.
I appreciate it. No, thank you so much for hanging in there and giving us a call this evening. I do appreciate it very much. We try to do this during the week, and here this is the third week on 40 meters. I think we're going to kind of call this home for now. The band has been so good and lots of stations. So if you hear us again, by all means, give us a call back. And very nice to work you in the Sherwood area of Chicago. Nice to know that we're getting there. Your signal's been really good all the entire time, been 5.9 plus. Be safe and be well. Enjoy your Friday evening and a great weekend. And by golly, look for us again. Whiskey 9 Kilo Delta Bravo, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 7-3s.
Roger that. You were 5.9 plus here also. So good night, and bid you good well.
Okay, take care. There was another station earlier, I believe, a Kilo Golf 4. Was there a Kilo Golf 4 station come back?
Kilo Golf 4, Mike Whiskey India.
Okay, hey, thanks for hanging in there. I do apologize. The other station just kind of nipped you there at the wire. Kilo Golf 4, Mike Whiskey India. Terry, how are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Trying to stay up a little bit late with you. Heard you in there. I was just looking through the frequencies and listening to CISOs and ran across you and heard you said you had the YouTube. So I flipped off my laptop and I'm going to hook up to that real quick. We're wasting much of your time that you said you're getting ready to call us, quit, or make some contact. I do appreciate you calling me back. You definitely sound good here in Virginia. I've been listening to you for quite a while. I lost a couple of the others that you talked to. The band is definitely changing, but you definitely sound great on this end. And like I said, thank you for making contact.
Well, I appreciate that very much, Terry. And we do try to work as many stations as we can. Again, we don't do 5.9 QRZ, and we can't do long QSOs. We try to be respectful of everybody's time with the time that we have on the air here. But you sound good from Harrisonburg, Virginia. Got you pulled up on QRZ, and my logger also provides me a world map and a detail map where I can zoom in pretty close and kind of know where James Madison University is. Was it Kieseltown, looks like, around that area. So we do like the logger as well. There, it kind of tells us where everybody's at there. Go ahead.
Copy that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I live just right outside of town, so it's like halfway between Harrisonburg and Kieseltown. I definitely can tell the difference in the band changing. I could hear myself when I was trying to contact you. I'd flip back to my laptop, and I could hear myself. I hear a couple letters in there, but everybody else
louder. I just have a portable Chameleon antenna, and I've been messing around with the settings, listening to what you guys said, and trying to make some adjustments the way you recommended, and see if it works out any better. I just don't know if I'm in the right location. I got hills and stuff close by, so I have to fight them out too. But anyway, thank you for making contact with us. Your comments, or maybe getting some other contact. I do appreciate you making a contact. I'm just getting back on the air, been off the air for quite a while because of radio problems with my first HF radio. I was beginning to think I got it used. I was beginning to think that there were some issues. There might be wire antenna. I had a lightning strike on one and a tree branch falling on the other, and it wrapped it around really tight. So I can't get that wire back out of that tree. But now I got a Chameleon Encom 2, I think it's called. Just recently got that 7300 I just got this month. So yeah, I've been trying to get on each night and play around with it a little bit. Like I said, thanks again for making contact. I was kind of interested to see what I was sounding like on the other end. I got a straight mic, and I haven't messed around with the settings a whole lot before I came in here tonight.
Well, Terry, I'll tell you, you sound good in my receive. I mean, there's a little bit of noise. You're between 5 and 3, 5 and 5, excuse me, in my receive. I understand you said you're running the portable Chameleon antenna. I think that's I think you're doing a great job, depending on what you're using. But I wouldn't change a thing. The audio sounds really good. I know the band is up and down, so 1 second you're real high and monotone, and all of a sudden then it opens up again, and I can hear the full fidelity. So for me personally, at this point in time, I wouldn't change anything. If the band was a little bit better and we get a little bit bigger signal on you, I would say maybe you might do this or this, but based on what I hear right now, I wouldn't change a thing. It sounds terrific.
Well, I appreciate that very much. I'm going to let you go. I got to get to bed. Anyway, thank you for making this. I'd like to link up with you to be able to work out the the way the meters are working on the radio. I'm relatively new to the radio. So, anyway, you have a great evening, and like I said online, I think it's a fantastic idea like that is that you can link your radio display up to your screen for other people to be able to see it while they possibly read you. I think it's exactly what I do. You have a great evening. Thank you for making contact. 73.
No, I appreciate it, Terry. Thank you for hanging in there. I know persistence does seem to pay off, so I'm glad we got a chance to work you, and hope we'll have a chance to work you again. You can get your antenna situation a little bit more stable for you. Sorry to hear about the antenna issues you had. I think we've all gone through that at one point or another. So, but I do feel for you. But hey, the Chameleon did a job tonight. That's all that matters. That's a contact in my book. And I look forward to many more. So, if you hear us out again, please give us a call, and we'll just kind of pick it up where we left off. Thank you for the contact for Virginia. That's probably one of the longest ones we've had tonight. So be safe and be well. Enjoy your weekend, and look for us next week, Terry. Appreciate it once again. Kilo Golf 4, Mike Whiskey India, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo 73, Terry.
Whiskey India 9, Juliet Alpha Yankee.
Oh, I can't talk to Jay tonight. Jay's supposed to be working. Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm back on days again for a little while until I get trained. I'm back over at the other plant, if you recall. I think I told you that, but maybe not. But you're 10 over 9 here, Randy. Sounding good. Over.
Well, I appreciate it, Jay. Yeah, I know you went to days. I just wanted to give you a little hard time because you always seem to check in with me on a Friday night right before you had to go to work. And I just thought, gosh, he's taking time for the radio and he's trying to get ready for work. That meant a whole lot. Now you've got all kinds of time on your hands here. Go ahead.
Yeah, for a little while anyway. But yeah, good to hear you in there. It sounds like you made a ton of contacts. I think the 7 o'clock hour suits you better than the afternoon hours lately, the way the bands have been. Not sure what's going on. It was pretty quiet here today. I heard a couple of stations on 17 meters and a couple on 20, and 40 wasn't even that great this afternoon here, but sounds like it's lively now there. Over.
I didn't get on the radio at all today. Just other things going on, but I've talked with some operators earlier tonight, and they said they've had some great success on 20 meters, on 40 meters, made some contacts. So, 20 hasn't been good the last couple of weeks. That's why we came down here to 40. But I don't think I'm going to leave. I'm having way too much here on 40 meters. There's just too many great operators that are here on 40 meters as well, and providing great information. I learned a little bit a while ago on my 7300, that I did not know, and there's been some great stories, Jay. So I think we're just going to stay put here. We're just having way too much fun.
Oh yeah, very good. Well, yeah, you just got to go where the band is working, I guess. And seems like 40 meters a day has been really good. Last week I was out here, I think I was up a little later, and mostly on 40 and new 450 stations all over, but yeah, it's all kind of right here. So I hope you had a great week, and sounds like we got a couple of projects and day projects going on there.
Well, I did hear from a couple up in your part of the world earlier, and I guess you guys are going to be getting some great weather coming up. Finally, I guess, some 80-degree weather or something like that. We had something like that today. So I'm hoping it's going to be a good weekend. They're talking a little bit rain, something or other tomorrow night or something. But I don't, I'm ready for I'm ready for these good temps again. I want to do this. There, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah, I think we're supposed to get some rain tomorrow night, but I think it's all supposed to be south of us. Looked like everything was going to go south of Green Bay, so I guess they can keep it down there. But anyway, I hope I sound okay, and been messing with the audio a little bit more, so hopefully this is sounding okay over there, Randy. Over.
Oh, you always sound good in my receive. You know that. Never a problem. Usually we've got good propagation between us. In most instances, a little bit of noise tonight, so I don't know if the band is starting to move or shift or whatever. But yeah, you always sound good in my receive.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you're on the DX10, correct?
We are on the DX10. We're up here in Studio A tonight. We're not on the 7300. We did, I think it was Wednesday night, we had some weather in the area, so we went down to Studio B with the 7300 and probably ran an hour and a half or so, not realizing the compression was off. That did brighten it up a little bit on the audio, and then we had to turn the bass down. Everybody was saying it was too bassy, and I didn't realize that. And I have no problems making adjustments if that's what it needs. So this one here seems to be dialed in okay, but we did have it make a few more adjustments on the 7300, but I'm okay with that as well. So as long as it sounds better, we were okay with that. But this one here is working just like we like it.
Generally, when I listen to you, if I'm not listening on the headphones, I have the Bose really good speakers that I listen to either section 1 or section 1.
And Jay, you're fading on me. What's going on, man? Did you change the band on us here? I didn't quite copy any of that. Did you Did you fall out there, or is the band on the way out?
Maybe the band's on the way out. I just asked you if you were using a studio mic or a stock mic on the 7300.
I did the stream the other night on Wednesday with the 7300, and of course we're doing the stream up here tonight. So generally, if we're going to do this in the evenings, which we have been, we've been trying to do the live stream at the same time.
Okay, but what microphone are you using on the 7300?
Oh, we're using a Heil ICM boom mic.
Okay, all right, yeah. I thought you were using something on there, but I just couldn't remember what you were using. Anyway, you sound good. So, anyway, Randy, I won't hold it. Sounds like the band is going to go away here soon, but you dropped down to about a 5 and 7. I've still got a crystal clear copy on you, but I will turn you loose and see if you can pick up a couple more before you shut her down for the evening. Randy, it's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure here, and hopefully we'll do it again real soon. Have a great weekend coming up, and we'll do it again. K0RWB from WNJ.
Hey, Jay, always a pleasure, my friend. I just looked at the log here, and this will be our 9th contact. So always a pleasure. Anytime, you know that. Always willing to come back and have another QSO for you. I'm glad to see that things are working out with you on day shift. I hope it continues that way. And hoping we'll have better propagation next time around. That's probably the one of the very few times that it hasn't worked out in my receive anyway. But, all in all, we've done pretty well. So thank you again, Jay, and appreciate you giving us a call this evening. Have a great weekend, and look for us next week when we'll be back out again. Whiskey India 9, Juliet Alpha Yankee, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. 7-3s, Jay.
Okay, 7-3s, Randy. Take care. God bless, and we'll do it again soon. WA9G, Claire.
Okay, sounds good. This is K0RWB. We're going to see if David is out there. Kilo 4, Mike November Delta. David, are you out there? K0RWB, back to you. Well, it's going to be a struggle, but we're going to give it a shot. I think you said QRP. Is that Roger? Well, I know enough to hear that you said QRP. I don't know how much more we're going to get out of it, but I'm going to try to see if we can make this work. And thank you for giving us an update there on the live chat. That's the curse sometimes of low power. I should have set some time aside for it. This would be the second 705 that I've talked with this evening. Terrific radio. We got to get your antenna in gear there so we can get better contact with you. Go ahead. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. I know you're in there and I can hear you, but I'm just not able to pull out what you're saying. So try it again in the next go-around. I'm going to flip through a couple antennas and see if I can pick you up better on the receive. Yeah, it's just not happening. We got washed out here. That's my mistake for not paying attention earlier and trying to call for you when you hit me up on the chat there. So I don't think it's going to work at this point, but I'll try to make it up to you next week, and I'll make sure we set some more time aside for low power. But I don't know if you're even able to copy me, David, but we did give it a go. But I don't think it's going to work at this moment. So, and we've only got a few more minutes before we've got to shut down anyway, but we can certainly try it again next week. My apologies, my friend, but we'll try it again, no doubt. Kilo 4, Mike November Delta, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. 7-3s, David. Okay, the K0RWB, Randy in Kansas City. We've got time for a couple more calls. QRZ.
Kilo Tango 4, Whiskey November.
Kilo Tango 4, Whiskey November. Good evening, sir. Nice signal. The name here is Randy, just outside of Kansas City, Missouri. If I typed it right, you're north and east of Atlanta. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Randy. It's Roosevelt here. Good to hear you again. Last time I spoke with you, you took quite a bit of time to tell me the difference between your Studio A and your Studio B. And by the way, I'm working you with an 890 tonight, still on the Kenwood 890. But I did end up picking up the 7300 that I have here in a second operating position. So thanks for the information and good to hear you again.
Oh, great. Hey, yeah, thanks again. Looks like on the 3rd, we worked on the 3rd. And gosh, nice signal as well, 5.9 plus. And the audio was absolutely terrific. Boy, you're dialed in, and we've got a good pipeline at the moment there. Go ahead.
Well, I tell you, you always come in good down through here. And I'm just enjoying this little 890. It's a nice piece of equipment. I'm still getting some things dialed in, but I did make a few adjustments since the last time that I spoke with you. And I got the 7300 in, I think it was last weekend. So it's a work in progress, but I almost have it dialed in as well. So maybe I'll get to check in another night, and you can give me a critical report on the 7300. But I hope all has been well with you. You're sounding great.
Well, I appreciate that, and you do as well. You know, this is really nice because you've got it all mixed in there. I'm hearing everything. I'm hearing the lows and the highs, and you were just crystal clear. So the adjustments you've made from the last time, oh, that is terrific. So I need to have you in my corner. You got to help me with my audio. That sounds terrific.
Oh, you sound great. I don't think you could sound any better. And yeah, so I picked up the 7300 because I thought it would be a little easier to set up than the FTDX 10. Although the 10 looked like it could do more and was more versatile, but you know, since I was going to keep the 890 as my primary rig, I wanted something easy, so that's what I did. So I won't hold you. I heard at least 3 or 4 of the stations calling, so I wanted to just kind of make the list here and just appreciate what you do and wanted you to know that. KT4WN.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Yeah, and I think last time we had a really good pipeline as well. So you know, I look forward to those. You know, low power, you're going to struggle, and it was really killing me. I missed out with my friend David there in Tampa. It just, you know, my timing was off. Just kind of get off on these calls, and you kind of miss them. So I've got to be a little bit more cognizant of what I'm doing here. And yeah, you had a good contact last time, and another one this time. And you know, I think that for what you're saying with the rig, you know, that's the right choice, honestly. And I own both of them, you know that. I like both radios. They both do something a little bit different than the other radio does. The 7300, I think, overall is easier to set up than the FTDX10. There's no doubt about it. The audio is much easier to set up. FT8 is much easier to set up. You know, if you're kind of computer savvy, tech savvy kind of thing, you probably would enjoy more of the FTDX10. You know, it's been kind of a pain in the rear end a couple of times trying to get this thing to work. But once it is, well, you hear the results. So again, I think for what you're saying, the 890, of course, is a terrific radio anyway. So the 7300 would be a good little backup. I'm looking forward to hear it on the air. I don't know if you're going to be running the stock mic or a different microphone with it. You tell me next go around, but I look forward to hearing you there. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, I paired up the ICOM SM30. I have the SM30 with the 7300, and I think it's going to be a good match. And next time I sign in, I'll have it on, and I almost have it dialed in to where it sounds about like this rig. They sound very close together, and so I think Randy will meet your approval. Now, if it doesn't, just let me know. I'm always open to to making adjustments. Always. So go ahead.
Well, that's nice of you to say. I'm actually turning my DNR down. I was trying to pull the station out there earlier, so you were getting a little bit more muffled. I couldn't figure out, well, I had my my digital noise reduction set too high, so I turned it back down. I go, oh, there he is. Now you sound like you. You know, that's, again, it's kind of like the eye of the beholder. You know, what I hear in my receive may be different than what someone else hears. And again, that's why I like doing the live stream, because it's recording and you can listen back later, like I told you before, and nobody knows your voice as good as you do. And again, in my headphones, I think my audio sounds terrible, but it doesn't seem to sound that bad on the playback. When I listen to it, that's what I sound like. I recognize myself because of my voice, so I know it's not altered by too much compression or processing or whatever. So, again, if you get the 7300 dialed in like you sound right now, it's going to be terrific. I look forward to it.
Okay, well, the next time I sign in, I'll have it, and I think I'm getting close. And in fact, I'm going to work on it a little bit later on tonight. And again, you sound terrific. Honestly, I can't tell when you're on the 7300 or the FTDX 10. They sound the same to me right now. And in fact, I thought you were on the ICOM when I first tuned by the frequency. Well, let me get out of the way and let those other guys in. And thanks a million, Randy. KT4WN clear.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Roosevelt. Thank you so much for the, I think it's the second or third. Let me look here. Second contact. So let's do it next week. We should be back out here Monday evening. And if you're out and about, we're going to try to start around 7 o'clock Central for a few hours. And if it works, hey, great, give us a call. And we'll just kind of see, how it sounds. Again, I look forward to it, and I like the idea. You're kind of look at it the way I do. We're both trying to make this audio the best we can for what we have to work with. And I'm still open to, adjustments. And I did that the other night on the 7300. Everybody said it was too bassy. So I made some adjustments, and I have no problem with that. We want to sound good. So always a pleasure. Love to talk with you. Nice to hear you out of the Atlanta area. And let's do it again next week sometime. And I look really forward to it. Kilo Tango 4, Whiskey November, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, Roosevelt, 73.
73.
Okay, K0, RWB, last call, please.
Kilo 8, Echo Mike.
That was an easy one. Kilo 8, Echo Mike. Hey, John, how are you doing tonight?
Real good, and you have a beautiful signal. I'm using a Yaesu STDX 3000. I love that DNR button. When we have a solid contact like this, I push that, and it's like you're next door. Over.
I know, isn't it amazing? And if someone hadn't told me a couple of weeks back that the DNR was adjustable, I would have never have known it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And sure enough, that's what I did a while ago. Any of the low-power QRPs, I hold DNR, and I usually dial up to about 7. That's what showed up on the screen a while ago. And, boy, it made a big difference. And then just talked to my friend Roosevelt outside of Atlanta. I got to turn it back down because it was taking too much away. So it's a terrific feature to have. I really, really do love it.
Roger that. I've never adjusted mine. I've just left it like it was because I seem to be getting out. I just put a long wire up, and I have a gutter antenna that I was using, and it was working just about as good. The long wire's not up very high. Lost my loop. We had problems with it getting tangled up. I had an 80-meter loop, and it was the best wire antenna I've ever had. I never had a beam or anything that fancy. So anyway, I just wanted to come back to you. I heard you two talking, and you both were coming out 5.9 plus. Over.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I've got a nice signal on you as well. Newark, Ohio, does that sound about right? I think it's what it shows up here. And I'd be curious how long you've had the 3000 and what your impressions are of it. I came really close to going that direction. We have a local amateur store here in the metro, and I've purchased from him many, many times. I bought, I think, 5 or 6 or 7 radios, and I was trading in an FT950. He had a used 3000 there, and I put it on the bench and was playing around with it. He has different antennas we can use, and came really close, but I'd be really curious what your impressions are on the 3000. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, I'm more of a musician than I am a technician, but I find it a really nice radio. If you look at QRZ, you can see my old radio. I haven't taken a picture of the shack because it's a disaster with papers and stuff all over the place. But I need to take a picture of it and put it on the web. But I'm on QRZ, so you can see my old radio. It was a Yaesu, and the lightning took it out, and I've got everything grounded beautifully. So I I got that part right, and I want to put up a tower someday, but that's going to be a while. We had a lot of expense in it recently. I like the radio. Like I said, the DNR button is awesome. I find it easy to use. It took me a while to get used to finding the mode switch and a few other things when I first got it. I've had it about almost 2 years, but when it first came out, but I haven't had time to be on the air, so I just got back into ham radio and managed to get a long wire up, and we're back on the air a little bit, so I'm excited to do a little bit of rag chewing, but don't have the Optimus. I like to do DX. DX is my hobby, and you always want what you can't get, and what I can't get is China. I have never had much luck working China. I worked them once. Australia, New Zealand, all of Europe, that's not an issue, but China, I just can't seem to do it. It's really hard for me to work that area of the world over.
I totally understand that. I have the same difficulties, and I also have a difficult time getting into Japan. Every once in a great while, either it's timing on my part or conditions or combination of all the above, I do hear the JAs from time to time, and on 20 meters or 17, and able to get in there once in a while. We have a beam for 6 through 20, so that helps be able to direct the signal a little bit. But I look forward to those days when the bands will open up a little bit more than they have. I'm not complaining because it's really not terribly bad. It hasn't been in the last several years, not so good. So I think it's getting better. It's probably a little bit slower than a lot of us would like, but again, the 40 meters has been wonderful. So I'm not complaining at all. This is the end of the third week that we've been on 40 meters in the evenings with the live stream, and we're not lacking for contacts and with content and stories and information. So I'm certainly happy to be right here. DX is a lot of fun, and I think a lot of it's timing on my part. There are some people that are great at chasing DX. I'm not one of those guys. I try, and sometimes I'm successful. Most times I'm not. But I hear them from time to time, and usually if I hear them, I can usually work them. But in some cases, I just can't. And life kind of gets in the way, and we move on and do something else, and we'll come back to it later there, Roger.
Oh, roger that. One thing I did find out, I lived in Colorado for about 18 years. The Japanese were, I would say about 25 years ago. The Japanese drove me crazy in the 18 years I lived there because they were always on the air, and they didn't speak the greatest English. They'd answer, the normal back and forth, and then you'd ask them a question, and you'd hear them laugh because they couldn't really understand what you were saying. But I had a pipeline into Japan and Australia and all that when I lived there. But when I moved out, when I was back there, I couldn't work Germany and England and places like that. That was what I was after. I moved back to Ohio. We're about 30 miles east of Columbus. When I moved back here, I could work all of Europe, Eastern Russia, you name it in Europe. I've worked it, but I couldn't get, like you said, Australia, New Zealand wasn't as near as easy as it was when I lived in Denver. And China, I never heard them. And finally, I made a contact here, if you want to call it that. We said hello. We passed our call signs back and forth with RSP, and that was the end of it. But at least I could say I worked China once. And that's what I'm after. I always want to do what I can't. And so I get another antenna up. I can't say I can't do it until I try it with a beam or something like that. It's a hobby. I just got on 50 meters, and I really enjoyed that. It was real clear. I couldn't believe it. So that's been fun. Over.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you where you lived in Colorado. I think you said the Denver area. Just kind of curious. We lived 3 years in Aurora, and 11 years in Colorado Springs, and have family in Fort Collins. So we've been up and down the Front Range there. Go ahead.
Oh, roger Roger that. We lived in Littleton, Douglas County, Acres Green, which is now Lone Tree. Next to Highlands Ranch, I had a house. My second house out there was right next to Highlands Ranch. There was a ditch and a road between us. I really loved it out there. I didn't want to come back. When I moved out there, properties were very inexpensive. Like $78,000 for a 2,000 square foot house, tri-level. And my son tried to buy the same house a year ago, and they wanted just under $300,000 for it. The other house I paid $150 for, and it was in the same development, like I said, next to Highlands Ranch. And they sold it about a year ago for $550,000. I wish I'd have stayed out there, but we moved back because the father-in-law was getting up in age, and he's still getting up in age. He's now 100 years old, but he remarried about 20 years ago, or 19 years ago, and she brought him back to life. So he's doing okay. He's mentally there. He's physically a wreck now, but he's had up until about 3 or 4 years ago, he's had it all. So that's why we moved back, and I can't afford to go back now. Over.
Yeah, well, first off, you said Highlands Ranch, so that's going to hurt anyway. Anything on the south side of the loop is going to be expensive. Cherry Creek never used to be too bad. We were over in Aurora. We were off of Tower Road, and we were about 3 blocks south of Buckley. It was Air National Guard base at that time, and we lived out there, and it was relatively inexpensive. And then we moved down to the Springs, and I know exactly what you're saying. We bought a house in about 91 or 92, and when we left in 2002, it had come back to this location, and the prices had doubled, and it was sold in 4 hours. So, and you can't even touch anything now. Luckily, we still have friends up in the Black Forest, and of course family in Fort Collins. So if we want to go back anytime, we certainly can. That the housing market is rather steep, even out on the plains. You look at Lamar or Las Cruces. You can even go out toward Greeley, and the prices are pretty pricey there as well. But it's still a great place to visit, so we have no worries there. Go ahead.
Roger that. My son lives up above Crystal Creek. He has a cabin up there that he's fixing up. His father-in-law gave it to him, basically. And he works as a welder, so he's making pretty good money anyway. But he likes it up there. So, I used to be all over the place. I had a janitorial service out there, so we were all over the metro area. And that's what I did for my second job. The first job out there, I sold cars, so I made a lot of money when I was out there compared to what it cost to live out there at the time I was there. But people from California were moving in, and so I thought I made a good price on the house, or a good move by selling it, but I wish I'd stayed there another 10 years. I could have retired. I'm 73 and I still work. But, that's keeping me alive and keeping me healthy. The contact. Give me your name. I don't have QRZ up. Over.
Yeah, the name here is Randy. Romeo Alpha November Delta Yankee, and again, the QTH, we're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, roger that. You're so strong in here, I'd turn the volume down. It's up and down a little bit, but I have no trouble copying you at all. Like over 5'9", I've got to turn the volume down so I can don't get blasted. So we've got a good contact. I am running a Lenny, and I have AL811H, this one with 4 tubes, and I run about 500 watts. And that helps because my radio just chugs along at, let's see. Whoops. I had the... if this makes a difference, I had the power way higher than it should have been. I usually run about 27 watts into the amplifier. Did I lose any power over?
No, the band is moving. You've been between 5 and 5 to 5 and 9. A little bit of noise on the band, but it's been holding fairly well. So not a problem. But John, we're at the bottom of the hour here, which is the end of our. We've run out of quarters. We have no more quarters for the machine, and we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're going to have to shut her down there. But very nice to have you as the last contact of the evening. We do appreciate that very much. And I know you said you didn't have QRZ up. You get it up. I have a link to my YouTube channel. We're actually live on YouTube, so if you're interested in listening to yourself on the air on our QSO, you could go to my YouTube channel just by putting in my call sign or the link I have on my QRZ page, and you could kind of fast forward to almost to the very end and listen to yourself on the air there, Roger.
Yeah, roger that. Maybe I'll try that, because I have I don't know how to describe my voice. It doesn't have much of an edge on it, so usually I have the processes and everything on, but right now I'm just, I don't have anything like that on, so it'll be interesting to see what it does sound like. I'll say 73 for now, though. I'll definitely look you up there. K0RWP, K8 Echo Mike, sometimes known as Easy Money, over.
Yeah, it sounds good. I like that. We try to do K0 red, white, and blue, which is also our initials, so we got lucky twice. Hey, John, thanks for giving us a call. Nice to work you, and we got kind of covered some same ground there, especially in Colorado, so I have a feeling that we'll have many more QSOs. I look forward to it. Sure, we'll have lots of more things to talk about. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe and be well. Have a great weekend. We will be back out here again next week on 40 meters. We usually try to start about 7 o'clock Central for a few hours. And so if you hear us again, by all means, give us a call, and we'll just pick it up where we left off. I'll say 7-3s for now. Kilo 8, Echo Mike, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, 7-3s. Okay, this is K0 RWB, and we'll be clear in QR.